a place to cast your care. There are wings to give you shelter. There is hope beyond despair. Take your heart to the Lord when your heart's in need of healing. There is peace, there is rest in His word.
Okay, it's just 2 pages over. And how many verses?
I will probably sing 4.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not? Sure.
Okay. Is that good for the men?
Oh, it's a beautiful song for the man, don't you think?
Yep.
Let's see.
All right, everybody, if you can come on in and we'll get settled in here. As you're grabbing a place to sit there, I just want to look at the bulletin real quick here and announce a few things. This coming Saturday, we're going to meet at the church at 10 o'clock for VBS outreach. I hope you can come. The more people we have, the more of our VBS cards that we can get out. And we got a note in the bulletin here about that. Looking at the coming events, the second paragraph, June 28th through July 1st, VBS with the Diedrich family. And so he'll be here as a guest host. He's going to host our VBS for us, but we're going to support him. So if you want to work in any area, let my wife know. And you have a list in the back, right, where they can sign up for something? She intends to have one, probably be up there Sunday, and you can, or Wednesday night, and you can write in there what you'd like to help with. I'm kind of excited about VBS this year. We've had a lot of outreach. The parade was 2 weeks ago. We did the parade, gave out about 300 of these cards. We've given them out to others. We've been putting them in our own bulletins so you all could take them and give them to somebody. But I also put it online, and we, as of this morning, I haven't looked on it, but on our Facebook, we had like 1,400 hits on it. So are we going to have that many kids? No, but it's getting out to a lot of people, and I think the Lord is going to be selective. If we can draw from them, it's going to be a big boost for us. We really need to boost our children's program. So be praying about it, and also be praying about, I think I'll make time on Saturday just to come at 10 o'clock here. We'll go out. We're only going to keep you about an hour and 10 minutes, whatever it works out to be, somewhere around there. And we'll just go out, do our business, and give the Lord the glory. After VBS on the 1st, July 3rd, we're going to have our 250th celebration, and during that time Ezra Billings is going to be here with his family, and he'll preach that night starting at 6 o'clock. We'll have a service. He'll preach that night. His family is going to sing for us, him and his 9 children and his wife. She plays the piano, so it's really going to be a nice time. We'll sing some patriotic songs. We'll go outside. We'll have a picnic. We're going to do those kinds of things. We'll play games, set the volleyball net up, all those things we want to do that make it an enjoyable evening for us. And then around 10 o'clock, because you got to have it dark out when you do fireworks. Randy said this morning we have 35 to 40 minutes of fireworks, and so I'm looking forward to it. We've been doing this for about 6 years now. I think this is the biggest a lot of works we have, right? And so bring somebody. Start telling others about this too. I put that out online as well in the social media areas and invited a lot of people. On that I got a lot of hits, more than I did on VBS. People want to come, and I'm surmising for the fireworks. I hope more people would come for the service. We'll just see how it goes. But if you don't invite anybody, somebody won't come. But if you do invite somebody, I think you'll get somebody to come with you. So keep those things in mind. And then this coming Sunday is Flag Day? On that Sunday, okay. So my wife says here in the coming events, first paragraph, please color, paint, or sew a 5 by 7 inch flag that depicts your favorite memory verse. And so there's, where are they supposed to get these things? Just do it themselves? Okay, something crafty. All right, is there going to be a big candy bar given out? What are we doing? We'll have prizes, okay. So if you're interested in any more information than that, talk to my wife about it. Yes, man, you can do it too, because I know you're creative, all right? I know you can handle this one. Huh? Okay. I think that's about all I want to mention here. And I think we can go ahead and sing a song at this time. How about number 414? If you grab your hymnal, you can just stay seated. We stand up in the morning, the evening, I give you a little break. I know you've all had a long day. While I'm toiling at home, you guys were probably got a nap in, right? Bill, did you get a nap today? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I ask him that every week, and he always says yes. I don't know how he does it, but 414. This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels Savior pardoned me, and now I onward go. I know he'll take me through, though I am weak and poor, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving Savior up in glory land. I don't expect to stop until I'm with him stand. He's waiting now for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Just up in glory land we'll live eternally. The saints on every hand are shouting victory. Back from heaven's shore, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. All right, I'm sorry about that last verse. I shouted out because I didn't hear the men saying victory. I had to scream it out. Okay, so let's back up and sing that last verse again, right? Men, when we see that word victory, what are you going to do? You're going to shout it out, right? Is everybody in on this? Roy, don't be shaking your head no. Did you see that? What do you mean no? All right, so when we get to victory, just shout it out, Roy. You don't have to sing the rest of the song, but if you just do the victory part, we would really be, proud of that, okay? All right, verse 4. Just up in glory land we'll live eternally. The saints on every hand are shouting victory. Their songs of sweetest praise drift back from heaven's shore, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. All right. How about 559? Tell me the stories of Jesus. Tell me stories of Jesus. I love to hear things I would ask him to tell me if he were here. Scenes by the wayside, tales of the sea, stories of Jesus, tell them to me. How many of you know this song? Okay, yeah, well, Andrea, you're a preacher's daughter, so you better know it, right? But I don't sing this very often, but it's a good song. It's got good words in it, so we're learning on this. Let's go on the second verse. First, let me hear how the children stood round his knee, and I shall fancy his blessing resting on me. Words full of kindness, deeds full of grace, all in the love light of Jesus' face. Into the city I'd follow, the children's hand, waving a branch of the palm tree high in my hand. One of his heralds, yes, I would be. Loudest hosannas, Jesus is King. Very good. We'll have to practice that one again. We'll put that on his schedule. All right. Men, at this time, I'm going to ask you to come forward, who's ever willing to sing with me tonight, and we're going to sing a good song. Whoever, whosoever. Just turn the page, ladies, if you want to read the words as we do them. 561, men. And I was thinking about doing all four of them, but let's just go ahead and we'll do the first and the last. Okay, we'll sing two stanzas of this. Okay, Connie, just two, yeah. All right. First and last, stand right there. Put your Bible down. Sit down. There you go.
561.
All right, we have guests with us tonight. Can anybody tell me who they are? Not you. What? What's that? Jim and Myra? Yeah, that's right. See, I was working up to that, Bill. I love it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Jim and Myra Wright. And they're missionaries to where? Everywhere. They're on call for everywhere, all throughout the world, and they're global missionaries. But we started seeing you probably, how long has it been? Did you happen to look at the records? 2012. So it's been long. 14 years ago. And so they've been here on and off, but they've been really busy just going from one place to another on a furlough replacement. The pastors, they need to get away. They get away for 3 months. They want to make sure that when they come back, the church is still there and that some wolf hasn't come in there and destroyed things or taught, bad biblical material to the church and just caused all kinds of trouble. And so the pastors will ask them to come, and they do, and they've been doing it for a long time. It's such a blessing. You actually went to our missions conference, didn't you?
Yes.
And so they went to all of our 10 churches that we're a part of, and they went through there, and we took them on for support at that time. So it was a real blessing to get to meet them then and the times that they've been back as well. We had a good dinner tonight with them and had a chance to speak with them there. It was just good fellowship. But hopefully tonight, if they got any time, they can come over to the fellowship hall, and we're going to have some of that ice cream that we had during Sunday school. Don't want that sitting around anymore. We want to eat her up. But we'll just take a few minutes over there. You don't have to stay for a long time, just long enough to get a little bit of fellowship and a little bit of the goodies, okay? And but I want to ask you to come on up, brother, and I'll turn it over to you. And he's got several things that he wants to do up here, and so.
Let's start off down here if that's okay.
That's okay, but I did want to say something to you.
It is good to be back here in Mansalona. We love your pastor and his family and the church, and you have faithfully stood by us all these years, and we just want to thank you for that. We do appreciate it. It means a lot to us, and not just your support, although that's important, and don't ever let a missionary tell you it isn't, but also your prayers and your love. And one of the things that missionaries struggle with is just being remembered. And so in order to help you remember us, we do some silly things occasionally, and I hope you'll forgive us for that. But what we're going to do this evening is we're going to show you a video that tells, and your pastor very well explained what we do, and the video will give you some illustrations of what we do. And then afterwards, if you have questions, we will answer them. So if something comes to your mind, write it down if you're like me and forget. Otherwise, we'll answer those. If you don't ask any questions, we'll go straight to preaching the long message. If you ask sufficient questions, we'll preach the short message. So it's entirely in your hands. All right, very good. Well, let's go ahead and watch the video, and then we'll go to questions.
This is a short report from Jim and Myra Wright, your furlough replacement missionaries.
2005 was another full year. On April 6th, we were off once again to fill in for Les and Jenny Hill in Dublin, Ireland. We returned home to Illinois for 2 short weeks in June before returning to Dublin for Declan and Bethany Flanagan in Swords, Ireland. The church meets in a public school gymnasium, and on a normal Sunday, the church runs about 50 folks.
In early July, we departed Ireland. With a couple of weeks before the start of our Hamburg, Germany ministry, we made our way to speak at Joey and Jenny Tacon's church plant in Pisa, Italy. Then it was off to Budapest, Hungary, to speak at a family camp. 4 churches and approximately 60 regular attendees, along with 20 visitors, attended over the 5-day period. Jim and I had the opportunity to speak 11 times during those 5 days.
Among the adults were 15 deaf people from Zoli Kish's church in Obuda. Our messages were translated into Hungarian as well as sign language, so everyone was receiving the word. A deaf man named Ivan came to me for counseling and discovered that he needed salvation. It was our delight to see him receive Christ and then testify to all assembled as to what God had done for him. Camp was a blessing in so many ways.
Then we were off to Hamburg, Germany, to fill in for Tim and Cynthia Peterson at the Biblia Baptista Gemeinde. What an amazing church. The average Sunday attendance was around 85, with a well-balanced age distribution.
We were able then to return home for about 2 months. As we greeted 2026, we started off by leading a group of 40 folks on a journey to Egypt, Jordan, and then the Holy Land. We had canceled this trip 3 times because of COVID and the wars, but the 4th time was perfect as it fell into a lull in the fighting and we never felt unsafe. It was an amazing 14-day trip that we will never forget.
Then, after 2 short weeks home, we returned to Ireland. This time, it was for Steve and Brandy McKinley in Navan. We were there from February into May. The Navan Baptist Church is a new church plant in a storefront. This church is amazingly diverse, as we had folks from Nigeria, Congo, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Brazil, the Philippines, Ukraine, China, as well as the U.S. and Ireland.
The attendance grew while we were there to the point that we were running out of room. It was such a blessing to watch the people welcome the visitors, many of whom became regular attenders.
Our time there was full with church ministries, services, counseling, outreaches, discipling new converts, Bible studies, and men's and ladies' meetings. We also kept the church involved with other Irish sister churches. Jim took the men down to Limerick for a men's retreat, and I took the ladies down to Lucan for a ladies' day.
While we were there, the war in Iran caused the price of gas and diesel to climb to well over $10 per gallon. This, coupled with immigration policy and other concerns, caused protests that effectively shut down Dublin for several weeks. These protests were peaceful but persistent, and we were occasionally forced to reroute our travels to avoid the shutdowns. Living in Ireland brings challenges for aging bodies. Myra always seeks to make sure that the missionary returns to a sparkling clean home. I try to keep up with the lawn work. They have a large yard and an older riding mower. It was non-functional when we arrived and needed to be repaired 4 times during those 3 months. The price of heating oil made us resort to using the wood burner to heat. We burned wood and peat moss, which the Irish call turf.
A month before we were to leave, my brother-in-law, Marty Marriott, passed away. Before we left to go to Ireland, he had assured us that we would not see him again until glory. We believed that lives well lived should be honored, so we purchased our tickets and returned to the States for a very short visit.
This was of God for so many reasons. The time of fellowship with Myra's side of the family was sweet. The funeral was an amazing testament to the goodness of God, as close to 1,000 people cried, laughed, and praised God together. Also, 2 nights before we returned, a massive rainstorm had found its way into the basement of our Illinois home. We were able to get it cleaned up, and since it was only there for 2 days, the damage was minimal. We believed there was another reason that God wanted us to step away. The McKinleys lined up a speaker for that Sunday, but left the 2 midweek services uncovered. Paul is the only deacon at Navan Baptist. He makes a great helper to Pastor Steve and a tremendous resource to us. But public speaking puts him way out of his comfort zone. I challenged him to step up and lead the 2 services. To his credit, he did. He even brought his first Bible study during that 2nd service. Necessity is the tool that God often uses to build his leaders.
As always, leaving was a bittersweet occasion. They all gathered for a goodbye potluck, and we had some great fellowship. This goodbye, though, was different, as we are scheduled to return for this September through December. It was more of a see you soon farewell.
We are in the States now, reporting to our churches, and trying to catch up on all of the necessities of life. Doing 12 months worth of things in the short time we are home can be daunting.
In the end of June, we are scheduled to fill in for my niece and nephew, the Roberts, in Roche, Wales. This will be our third fill-in for them. This will also be a back-to-back with our second fill-in for the McKinleys in Ireland. We are not scheduled to return until this December.
In January, we have been asked to fill in for Matt and Katie Northcutt in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, Canada. Because they will need to use their vehicle on furlough, we will need to take ours. This will require more than 30 hours of driving and a 7-hour ferry ride to get out there. And all of this travel is in early January. We are scheduled to be there until May. After a quick trip home, we depart for Budapest, Hungary, for Zoli and Johanna Kish. Then, after a couple of weeks home, we're scheduled to fill in for the Coaux in Daegu, South Korea, until March of 2028.
We would like to thank you for all the prayers, love, and support that you extend to us and this ministry. Without you holding the rope here at home, we would not be able to do the work of the ministry around the world. Thank you for partnering with us in this necessary ministry of furlough replacement.
That is what we do, and we have done 32 fill-ins so far since we started out, and we are looking forward to what God has ahead of us as well. Are there any questions that we can answer this evening? Yes, sir. Yeah, and that was not a vacation. We were leading a group of 40. If you've ever led a group of 40 to do anything, you know it was a lot of work. And it wasn't just work for me, it was for my wife. She was kind of the group mom/nurse. And we told those people, don't drink the water. Don't even brush your teeth in the water. And the guide, the Egyptian guide, said, oh, no, you can brush your teeth. That's not a problem. And so some of our guys said, yeah, we're going to go ahead and brush our teeth in the sink. And they got sick. And anyway, but yes, it was Petra. Forgive me, I just launched into a little tirade there. Can you tell I have a little bit of a burr under my saddle about that? But yes, we went to Petra, and it was lovely. And this time we told the guide, as long as you are willing to give us 2 more hours. Because the last time we went there, it was kind of in and out, and we really wanted to do some wandering. And that is a cool place. And everybody sees the treasury, but that's just the smallest part of Petra. I mean, any other questions?
What do you do when you get sick and stuff overseas?
Well, in that situation, a whole lot of, go ahead.
For us, when we're overseas, I take all the over-the-counter medication that you would normally have in your cabinets. I have it with me. I have a whole line of NyQuil, cough medicine, cough drops, all of that. You're never assured of being able to get anything. You can't get Tylenol anyplace else but here in the States, ibuprofen, anything like that. In that case, we went through, and I had told everybody, bring a box of ammonium, and about 3 people did, and we went through all of it.
And then went and bought more,
And went, well,
or
yeah, we bought
its equivalent.
similar ones too, but nothing is American medication. So we take all of our own vitamins to every replacement. We take all of our prescriptions for a year long, because you never know if there's gonna be a snafu or not. We take enough for more than what we need, and all of our regular medications.
One of my, the reason I was asking is, we've been overseas too, but I remember we brought my cousin over from Poland, and we asked her if there were souvenirs, anything she wanted to take back, and that was one of the things, she wanted to take aspirin. So I went all that back with her.
If you can get aspirin or it's Panadol over there,
he might get like 4 tablets in a box. You know, and we go to 500 tablets or Tylenol, you know, you just don't find that anywhere.
But there are some things you can get overseas that you can't get cheaply here. Like we picked up some EpiPens for what, $30 a piece. And so, you know, and honestly, Americans think that the only good medical care in the world is here in America, and that's not true. If they have socialized medicine, there's a lower tier for the normal socialized medicine people, and then there's a higher tier for people who have money to pay extra, and then there's another tier for people who can pay for all of it, and then there is the highest tier of medical care, and that is for, you know, senators and movie stars, and our insurance company sends us to those boutique clinics. And so I had both of my knees replaced in Grand Cayman. I've had dental work done elsewhere in the world, and some of it was a really good thing, and others was not a really good thing. But anyway, any other questions?
Yeah. He didn't get, his knees, how much did our insurance, how much did they say?
Okay, our insurance company flew us first class to Grand Cayman, put us up in a luxury condo on the beach, gave us a rental car, paid for all of our food for a month, paid for the doctor and the hospital, and the first time it was 7 nights of hospitalization because nobody ever touched my knee except for the doctor, and that's why he has 0 infection in his record. And then the rest of the month was rehab, and we got it there, and we came back, and the insurance company said, yeah, we spent $45,000 less than it would have been for an outpatient procedure here in the States. And so, you know.
But the dental, what I was laughing about was the dental in Korea. He went to the dentist and he said, you will never be going to that dentist. Because it was,
It wasn't clean. Any other questions? Yeah, that's one I just don't want to talk about. Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, do you ever deal with a language barrier?
Yes.
In the country, and how is that dealt with?
Well, about half of our fill-ins are in countries where they don't speak English, and then when we're preaching and teaching, we use translators. Now, when we're just, you know, out on the loose, shopping, restaurants, sightseeing, or whatever, we don't have a translator, and so then we just kind of have to wing it. And honestly, English is the world trade language, and there's a lot of people out there that know English. And for instance, in Germany, we never learned any German because most of them know English better than a lot of Americans. But sometimes, like in South Korea or Hungary, we found that occasionally you could find someone who spoke English and you could do fine. Or you'd use a translator app on your phone. And there's several good translator apps, and with each language, there's one that's better than the others. So you download that in their language, and you're all set.
that's been a blessing in the last maybe 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
But when we first started, there was no.
Yeah. Never forget that my first replacement, we're on a bus, and I didn't know which stop to get off at, and so I kind of stood up and said, does anybody speak English? And the guy right in back of me said, yeah, what do you need? Turns out he had spent 3 years in Brooklyn, and he spoke English with a Brooklyn accent. And yeah, Brooklyn, New York, not Brooklyn, Michigan. So yeah, it's a barrier. But you know, I've heard a lot of people say, have you worked with translators before? Okay, and do you enjoy it? No? Okay. I've had a lot of guys tell me they don't enjoy it. I enjoy it because I look at it as a collaboration, as some fun to be had, and I will act things out, and I will insist that my translator act them out as well, and I'll go, and suddenly it fell, boom, and I'll expect them to go, boom, you know. And so it's a lot of fun, and frankly, if God can trust me with His message, then I can trust, you know, a translator to do it. And I've only had a bad translator once. So God's been good to us. And frankly, it works well, and the people actually enjoy the camaraderie and the cooperation of it, and so it works well for us.
I want to say the translator that I have, it's fantastic, but I prefer to you all speaking my God.
Yeah.
Because you have to stop, and it breaks everything out, and then you have to start. You can only do so much depending on the translator's
Mm-hmm.
how much they can take in and be able to filter out, so. But
Yeah. There is a trick to it.
it's a great ministry.
But once you get used to doing it, you can normally develop a rhythm with your translator, and it works very well. And plus, like in Hungary, there was one replacement where I had two translators, and one of them was a machine. I mean, this guy, if I was going to be teaching a doctrine or something that required precision, I got him to do it because, I mean, he used words that sometimes even the Hungarians didn't know them. I mean, he was precise and accurate, but he had no heart. And the other one, Belush, he had a pastor's heart, and if I was telling a story, if I was giving an illustration, if it was intended to touch a person's heart, I would use him because he could do that, and Zoli couldn't. So it was almost like I had a toolbox with those two tools in it, and I could pull out either one, and so it was helpful for me. I enjoy it, but I think God has given me an enjoyment where other men don't have an enjoyment, simply because He knows I'm going to have to be doing it a lot. And so we use translators when we have to. So, good. Any other questions?
How do you get your assignments? I mean, is it something you choose? Do they tell you where you're going?
No, Baptist World has nothing to do with it. That's my mission board. We get an email. For instance, about a month ago, we got a call from a missionary out in Newfoundland. And he said, hey, I was just talking to my buddy up in Rankin Inlet, which is way up on the Arctic Circle, and we did 4 months up there during the winter. And he said, my buddy tells me you're not afraid of snow. And I said, no. He says, would you come in and fill in for us in Newfoundland? So the first thing we do is we always check the calendar, because most of the time they'll ask, and we have one already committed to. And so we check the calendar. If the schedule works, then we move on to discussing faith and practice. At that point, we get in a video chat with them, and it's not just him and me, it's me and Myra and him and his wife, because my wife reads between the lines far better than I do. And besides, there's things that she has to find out as well. So we talk over faith and practice. And if we are on the same page, and we have to be, because I'm basically becoming his assistant pastor. I guess you asked the question. Well, I don't know why I'm looking at you. But I become his assistant pastor, and so I need to be in total agreement with him. Not total. I don't agree with anybody totally. I don't even agree with myself totally. But it has to be pretty close. And so once we are in agreement there, then we start talking about where we're going to be living, and the church building, and how wide is your bed. Because I get a lot of these skinny little missionaries, leave me alone here. Anyway, so we have questions we have to ask and get answered, and I send him a document, a 4-page document called Understandings, and it is basically a cut and dried explanation of our expectations and what we will do and what we will not do. And then during our video conference, I asked, do you have any questions about that? And most of the time they say, no, that was very helpful. Once we get past the faith and practice and the practical, then we move on to finances, and we find out whether or not we can afford to go there, to be there. And so once we've got all of that, and the theological and the practical, if he and I are both of the opinion that we'd like to move forward on it, Then we say, okay, let's take a week. And during this week, we call everybody that knows, and I tell them, listen, I want you to call everybody that you know that knows me. And really, fundamentalism is a small circle. So we know a lot of the same people, and so I say, call anybody that knows me, check me out thoroughly, because I'm going to be checking you out thoroughly. And then I always, as kind of the last thing, I call my pastor, because my pastor is my boss. And God gave me my pastor to kind of be a conduit for his will, because, and a lot of times he doesn't even know what he's saying. I'll call him up and I'll say, Pastor, you know, this missionary over here wants me to come and replace, and then he'll always say the same thing. He'll say, Jim, why are you asking me? I'm not a missionary. I don't know these things. And we'll get to talking, and he will say one thing that God uses to either confirm or deny that that's where, and it's just uncanny how God uses my pastor in my life. Even though we're the same age, same background and everything, God uses my pastor. So I call him. If at the end of that week, we're both of the opinion that this is God's will, then we put it in stone as much as possible. And we agree on the dates, and then we plan on it. And we work
Do you have
towards
children
it.
too?
So, what's that?
Do you have children?
I have 2 children, but they don't travel with us. No, they got children of their own and lives of their own, and yeah, we love them dearly and we miss them while we're gone. But you'd be surprised how much time you can spend on you know, video chats with the folks you love, and that's not the same as being there, but it's nice. Ed and Myra Judson did not have Facebook. So, all right. Any other questions? All right. I warned you. Take your Bibles. Where's my Bible? Okay, my wife is off to get my Bible. This is a beautiful broom. I've seen brooms. This is nice. Very good. Now, I know you're wondering what on earth is he doing with the broom. I'll tell you. Turn to Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews chapter 12. And I want you to see what the author of Hebrews, who wrote Hebrews?
Paul, I guess.
Okay. All right. I'm of the same opinion, but I never say that. Timothy or Apollos or something like that.
It says the epistle of Paul, the apostle to the Hebrews.
Yeah. Well,
There you have it.
all right. Very good. All right. Well, in Hebrews chapter 12, what's that first word in Hebrews chapter 12? Wherefore. Now, what do you do when you see the word wherefore? Yeah, you look to see what it's there for. Okay, so what came right before Hebrews chapter 12? Exactly, Hebrews chapter 11. And what is Hebrews chapter 11?
Hey,
The faith chapter, yes. And in the faith chapter, God goes and tells about all of these people who did one thing. They believed God to the point that they acted upon it. Okay, now James tells us, don't tell me you believe and then do something different. Okay, if you believe, you are going to follow it up with actions. And these people had faith. They believed God to the point that they acted upon it. And all of these illustrations are amazing because some of them we think, oh yes, you know, that was a man of faith. But then we come to another person, Rahab the harlot, is in the hall of faith. Why? Because she believed God to the point that she acted upon it. Okay? That's faith. Now, based upon that, in chapter 12, he starts off and says, wherefore, seeing we're compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Now, please understand, they are not watching us. They're in heaven. They've got better things to do. Okay? I don't think they are watching us. What this is saying is that their lives have witnessed to us. That we are to take a look at their lives, and we are to learn and grow by looking at them. And he goes on and says, wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and and the sin which doth so easily beset us. And I want you to understand, he says two things here. Okay? Not all of the things that we are to set aside are sin. Some of them are good things. But the problem is that if we pursue them, they're going to get out of whack. They're going to become a priority. And you know, all the time I get people who say, well, Pastor, I can't come to that service. My kid's got soccer. Which one is going to make a difference in eternity? Which one is going to make a difference to their understanding of the importance of God in their life? And I think it is a terrible, terrible misappropriation of priorities to let anything get ahead of. And I know I'm preaching to the Sunday evening crowd, but I tell you, there's a lot of things that are weights. They're not sins. They're good things. But when they get out of whack, they slow us down. A runner in the race, what does he do? He jettisons every weight. Why? So that he can press on. And as Christians, there are sometimes when we not only need to set aside the sins, but we need to lay aside those weights, those things which may be good, but they still hold us back from single-mindedly pursuing Christ. He goes on and he says that we are to run with patience the race that is set before us. What does it mean, run with patience? I've only run one cross-country race my entire life. Okay? And that was really stupid. Okay, our Christian school went to Pillsbury Baptist Bible College to run in their cross-country invitational. And so I trained for like a month before that, and I got to the point where I was running good and got up there, and I, got up on the line, and here's all these guys, and the gun fired, and I took off, and I started running, and I got out ahead of everybody else, and I was running a little faster than everybody else, and I was so proud of myself, and then pretty soon I'm getting really tired, and somebody goes by me, someone else goes by me, finally my little brother passed me up, and I was just trying so hard, and I saw that finish line, and I finished, but I was way back in the pack. Why? Because I didn't run with patience. You see, there's a balance in life that we have to pursue. Now, there are some things where we need to be extreme. Okay? Does the Bible set any limits on how much you are to love God? No, there's no limit to that. By the way, husbands, do you realize there is no limit to how much you are to love your wives? Okay? Yeah, I know the wives are going, yep, you hear that? Okay. We'll not get into the wives part of that tonight, but the point is that there are many things where we need to be extreme. But there are the majority of things where we need to find some balance. We need to put things into perspective, and we need to run with patience. Now, how do we find balance? Let me just give you a little illustration. And this is a stupid little illustration, but I hope it'll help you to remember. Because I'm going to ask Elijah to come up here. I was going to ask Jonah, but he spilled water all over me. Still got a bad attitude. No, seriously. I'm going to ask Elijah to come up here. Now, Elijah, have you ever balanced a broom on your hand like this?
Yes.
Have you can do this?
I think so.
You think so?
Yes.
Good. Well, we will see. You ready? Put your hand underneath there. Okay. No, grab it here. Hold it there. Now, don't start yet, because we are going to make it a little more difficult for you. Who's that? George Washington. I want you to face this way, but now turn your head and look at George. Watch yourself here. Go ahead. Let go. Balance. But look at George. No! Okay. Shall we stipulate that it is impossible to balance a broom if you're looking at money? Let's try something else. Okay. Let's do this and this. And who's this? Yeah, you. Okay. Now, And look at you. Go ahead. Ah! Okay, shall we stipulate you can't balance a broom while you're looking at yourself? Okay, turn face me. Come on, turn. There we go. Now, are these people your friends?
Yes.
Okay, look at them. Go ahead. Ah! Okay, you can't do it, can you? Okay, you're worthless, huh? No. Now, turn this way. Now, look towards heaven. Now, balance that broom. Good. Come on. Put the other hand down. There we go. There it is. See? Now he can do that. He can do that. Why? Because listen. Of course, we all understand that by looking up, you can see where the broom is headed. But in your Christian walk, where are we to focus? Take a look at verse 2. Look at those first 3 words. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Let me tell you, nothing will help you find balance in life better than keeping your eyes on Christ. Because if you keep your eyes on Christ, it will put everything else into perspective. I've seen men who spend their lives pursuing lots of George Washingtons. Okay, that's their whole life, is their career, their job, making money. And listen, we have to make some money in order to make it through this life, don't we? But if that is your priority above all else, then you're going to lose balance. Your walk with Christ is going to suffer. Your relationship with your wife, your kids, others is going to suffer. Why? Because your life is out of balance. You cannot balance your life if you're focused on money. By the way, you notice he couldn't balance that thing while he was looking at himself in that? Have you ever met someone who it just seems like you expect that they get up in the morning, they look in the mirror and go, wow, you are so lucky to be me. Yes, you good-looking person. Have you ever met people like that? They spend their life building up themselves. They are on the throne of their lives, and they are pursuing their own happiness, and they don't really much care about everything else, do they? They're out of balance. They'll never find it. And then there's people who are constantly concerned only about what their friends think. By the way, that is getting worse and worse in the Facebook age. You know, people putting things on only so they get a lot of likes. And they're, well, I don't want to put that on and nobody will like that. And they live their life for other people's opinions. You know what the problem with that is? Number one, other people aren't Christ. Number two, other people don't agree with each other. And other people change from day to day. You can't please others. Okay? But the nice thing is you can please God. Because unlike people, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He doesn't move. You can't balance your life if you're chasing money, if you're chasing your own dreams, if you're chasing other people's opinions. You got to keep your eyes on Christ. And I'll tell you this, the employer who keeps his eyes on Christ will be the best possible employer because he's balanced. The husband who keeps his eyes on Christ is the best possible husband and father. You put God first in your life and all of those other things are going to fall into place. There's a reason why Paul said, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. You'll find balance if you keep your eyes on Christ. There's another thing you'll find, and that is direction if you keep your eyes on Christ. Have you ever gone to a Little League game and little Johnny's up there to bat and his father in the stands yells, "Keep your eyes on the..." What? Okay, we've got some Little League moms here. Yeah, keep your eyes on the ball. as counselor, I hated counseling when I was pastor, and so I thought the reason I hated it is because I'm no good at it. And so I went to school and I got a master's degree in counseling. And you think that made me hate counseling less? No, because people are still crazy. Anyway, but I'll tell you this, one of the things I found is that when somebody comes in and sits down and says, Pastor, I just hate that person. Years ago they did this to me and I've just never been able to forgive them. And you know what I say to them? I say, tell me about them. What are the things that you hate about them? And they'll tell me these things. And I say, do you realize that in the years since that happened, that you have become that person because you are focused on them? You see, we become like what we are focused on. This is why Romans 8:28. We all know Romans 8:28, right? Okay, and we know that all things work together for good to them who love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose, right? But do you know verse 29? For whom he did foreknow, he did also predestinate. And then it ends, that we might become formed under the image of his Son. Do you realize what God's purpose is for you? God's purpose is to make you and to help you become just like the one that he loves the most. This is a good deal, people. God's goal for you is to help you become Christ-like. So when we focus on Jesus Christ, the author and finisher of our faith, it gives us direction, and we pursue that. One time I just split my thumb wide open while I was pounding a nail. And the reason is because I realized that my thumb was really close to that nail, and I looked at my thumb. Yeah, and then I hit my thumb. The 22-ounce framing hammer with the waffle leaf thing on it, and I just split that thumb wide open. Listen, you will hit what you are focused on. That's why horses, what do? We put those blinders on their side. Why? So they will go straight ahead. Looking unto Jesus will give you balance. It will give you direction. There's one more thing it will give you, and that's strength. Strength. You see, when you have one thing to do, you can put your all into it. You know what? Should I use Elijah again? Yeah, Elijah, come on. Okay, I used to play college football. Step over here. I used to play college football. Okay? I played defensive tackle my freshman year. And when I played defensive tackle, I would get down in a three-point stance. And my opponent, the offensive tackle, would get down probably in a four-point stance. So I'm not going to ask you to get lower. Okay? Now, my job is to go to the ball. The quarterback's got it. I'm going to go after the quarterback. If he hands it off to someone, I'm going after them. Okay? I've got to maintain control of my hole so that if a running back gets the ball and he tries to come to me, this guy is not going to stop me from tackling him. In order to make that happen, I've got to control him. In order to control him, I've got to stand him up. Okay? Because if he's down and I'm up, he controls me. But if on the other hand, he's up and I'm down, I can control him. See, if I see the ball going this way, I chuck him this way and go after the ball. If the ball's going out there, I chuck him that way and go after the ball this way. I've got to control him. I've got to stand him up. So there was one thing that I had to do. I had what we call rib pads. And I had it on this forearm. And we would get down in that stance, so get down. And I would and we'd be closer, we'd be about this far away. I could smell his breath. And I'd bring my hand back like this. And when that ball was snapped, I'd go, wham! And I would take and put that rib pad underneath his grill and try to rip his head off. I never did relax, okay? I don't know. Maybe I could have sent some people to chiropractors, but on the other hand, if a person's head goes back, they naturally stand up. Because that's the thing, bodies tend to follow heads. And so I would wham, and he would stand up, and then I got it. But I had one thing, one job. That was to stand him up. And I found that if I went at it timidly, I would never accomplish it. But when I gave it everything I had because I was focused on that one thing, I could stand him up. Even if he was a bigger guy, even if he was a better football player, if I did that one thing, I could stand him up and beat him. Now, you know, so thank you. You're not getting another dollar. All right. Now, here's the thing. In this life, we've got one thing. Do you realize that? You have one thing. Do you remember what Jesus Christ said? He said, I do always those things which please the Father. And God wants us to do always those things which please the Son. We've got that one job. And every day, rather than pursuing self and gratification and all the things that the world tells us are valuable, we need to say, no, no, no. Today I've got one job. We get up in the morning and we should lift our hearts to God and say, today I am yours. I'm living for you. My life is all about Jesus Christ. Lord, how can I live for you today? How can I serve you? How can I love you? What, you want me to love my neighbor as myself? Have you met my neighbor? Okay. My employees? My boss? You want me to love them? Okay. And when we put God first, we get a balance, and we get a direction, and we get a strength for life. The Apostle Paul said he had run his course. He'd run the race and finished his course. He said, this one thing I do. What do you focus on? No, I'm serious. I want you all to think right now. What is that one thing to you? What is that most important thing? What is it you're pursuing? What is it that you spend your time thinking about? Change it. Make it Christ. Make it His Word. Make it looking into His loving face and saying, Lord, how do you want me to live for you today? And then doing it. Because you got that one thing. You got that one thing. On the other hand, you can go on living your life with all of the other pursuits and oh yeah, God is there too. And church is there too, and the Bible's there too, but I've got these other things, and these are important to me, and if I have time available, then I'll go to church. If I have time available, I'll read my Bible, and no. That is the way to live a mediocre life. And God has not called us to mediocrity. He said, approve things that are excellent. And when we put God first, when we are looking unto Him, and as you read the rest of that passage, you see that Jesus Christ illustrated all of these things for us with His life and with His death. We don't have to guess. We just need to learn Christ, pursue Christ, and stay focused on Christ. So I ask again, what are you focused on? What is your one thing? I'm challenging you tonight as Pastor closes the service. Go to God. Say, Lord, I've been focused on the wrong thing. If you'll help me, if you'll remind me, if you'll give me the strength, I will put you first. I will focus on you. Will you do that? Our Father, Lord, I am not a good example of this. And I don't know that anyone but your dear Son has ever accomplished this. But may we spend our lives pursuing it. and each day getting a little closer to success in it. Oh, Lord, help us. We pray these things in Jesus' name.
Let's go ahead and stand at this time. Connie's going to play something for us, and as she does, think about the questions you were asked, think about the message that you heard, think about the illustration, apply it to your own hearts. If you want to come up here and pray tonight, this is an open invitation for you to do that. If you have any questions you want to talk to Brother Wright about or to me during this invitation time, please feel free to do that as well, okay? But please, everybody can stand if you can. And give this time to the Lord. Go ahead. Thank you so much for that encouraging message. Appreciate that very much. And I know my folks do, or the Lord's church here does, and we're thankful for you. And Myra, do you guys want to stand back by your showcase there? And we're going to take an offering at this time. Ralph, if you get one of the guys to help you out tonight. And once we have the offering completed, I want you to go by and say a few words to the Wrights tonight. And when we're done doing that, we'll meet over in the fellowship hall. Come on right up here. And Russ, would you ask God's blessing on this offering? All of this is going to our missionaries tonight. Go ahead, Russ.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you, Lord, for this day, Lord. Just thank you for the missionaries, the Wrights, Lord, and their field. And just keep them continuous on with their great job that they do for you, Lord. Praise you, thank you, and just bless the gift and the giver. In Jesus' name.
And looks like they're done. Let's go ahead. You're dismissed at this time. You can go to the back there and ask any questions you want about stuff at the table that they have. They got some interesting things there.
Postcards.
Be sure to get one of our new
Packet postcards. I handed out quite a few.
There's a packet on there, I'm sure.
Yeah, they put them in the stores and stuff.
Yeah.